Um, oh, okay. Yeah, you got it. Cool. Let's see if I can hear you. CFB, what's up, buddy?
What's up, dude?
Hey, dude. So, do you think it's morally justified to farm animals, force them in gas chambers, and slice their throats open?
No, I think that, hunting your food and eating animals is okay.
So to be clear, you don't think it's morally justified to slice animals' throat open and eat them for food?
I think there's ways to go about it that make it immoral, but at the end of the day, you have to control the population of animals.
So I just want a clear yes or no, because you're not really giving me a clear yes or no. Do you or do you not think it's morally justified to farm animals, force them into gas chambers, and slice their throats open for food? Yes or no?
Yeah.
You do think it's morally justified? Awesome.
Yeah.
So if we were doing the same thing to humans,
but we're not.
Hold on, that wasn't the question.
Yeah, it was.
There's this word, yeah, you gotta let me talk. There's this word if. You gotta know what if means. If we were farming humans and forcing them in gas chambers, would that be morally justified to turn them into sandwiches? Yes or no?
We're not. It's not.
Notice
a human.
Notice CFB. Notice how the question wasn't.
Okay, the answer is no. It would not be.
It would not be. Thank you. Now you know what if means. That's awesome. Hypotheticals are like this weird thing. So, in the case of humans, you don't think it would be morally justified. In the case of animals, you do think it would be morally justified. So, can you tell me the difference between humans and animals that justifies farming animals but not humans and slicing their throats and turning them into cheeseburgers?
Yeah. Humans are different from animals.
Yeah, in what way? That's the question.
Top of the food chain, my guy.
Awesome. And by food chain, do you just mean that we have the power to farm animals?
Or absolutely. We have the power to critically think.
Awesome. Thank you for answering that. So if we had the power to farm, let's say, Asians, if we had the power to farm Asians, would it be morally justified to farm Asians, slice their throats open, force them into gas chambers, and turn them into sandwiches? Yes or no?
Asians are humans, dude.
Notice how that wasn't the question I asked you.
Dude, why are you talking like that? You asked me if I'm farming humans or animals.
No, you got to let me talk, CFB. Notice how the question I asked you was, if we had the power to farm Asians, would it be morally justified to farm Asians, slice their throats open, and turn them into cheeseburgers? Yes or no?
Are you saying Asians?
Yes.
Like the human race?
Yes. Would it be morally justified? Yes or no?
I already answered that as in no when I talked about humans.
Great. Thank you for answering. That means the morally relevant difference between humans and animals that justifies farming animals but not humans is and is not that we have power over them. That is a logical contradiction, P and not P, meaning your answer is logically impossible. That is a logical contradiction, sir.
No, it's not.
It quite literally is. Wait, it's not. Okay, so what is a logical contradiction? Can you repeat that for me?
Do bears eat other bears?
Notice how you didn't tell me what a logical contradiction is.
You're insufferable. You don't even let me ask you a question.
You said it wasn't a logical.
Let me ask you a question.
So if you
you're
say
going
it's not a logical
debate book.
Notice how you're interrupting me. So if you say
notice how you won't let me speak.
Notice how you keep.
Notice how you won't let me speak.
Just tell me when you're done.
Let me speak for 1 second.
Awesome.
All right, let me explain. Notice how you won't let me speak. Notice how you won't let me speak. Notice how you won't let me speak.
Tell me when you're done.
All right, I'm going to tell you when I'm done. I'm not done. So to quit making references between humans and then humans and animals, there's a difference there. So you trying to say that humans killing other humans and eating them and then comparing it to humans killing animals is absolutely insanity. From the beginning of time, humans eat animals. We're at the top. We eat animals for survival. Hunting and gathering is ethical and moral. At the end of the day, if you let hogs in Louisiana run rabbit, they populate 3 times a year at the rate of 9 babies per mother. So if we don't control the hogs, which in your book, we shouldn't eat them, we should just kill them. Otherwise, the population would be overtaken by hogs. Let's just kill them. Let's not eat them. No, let's kill them and eat them, which makes them morally ethical.
Cool. Are you done?
Notice how you let me talk? Yeah, go ahead.
All right, awesome. So you said the morally relevant difference between humans and animals that justifies eating animals but not humans is that we have the power to. So I asked you, if we had the power to farm, slice the throats of Asians and force them into gas chambers to turn them into sandwiches, would it be morally justified to do so? You said no, meaning the morally relevant difference between humans and animals that justifies farming animals but not humans is and is not that we have the power to do so, which is a logical contradiction, P and not P. You affirmed a proposition in conjunction with its negation, rendering your position logically impossible. So you have two options from here. You can either, one, change your position. You actually have three options. Two, just accept that your position is logically impossible. Or three, go vegan. Do you want to change your position, or do you just accept that your position is logically impossible?
Well, my position isn't because of power over another thing.
No, notice how it quite literally was, because when I asked you the morally relevant difference between humans and animals,
I just told you it wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, just tell me when you're done.
Okay, you keep repeating the same debate book that you read to learn how to debate, and it's absolutely insufferable. I told you that my position is not because of power. Whether I said that in the past because you suckered me into saying it was not what I'm saying.
I suckered him into saying it by asking him a question. Okay, so if that's not your position anymore, that's fine. I proved a logical contradiction within your position. That's fine. You can change your position now you realize how low IQ it was. So I will re-ask you the question now that I showed your position to be logically impossible. Now I'll ask you again. What is the morally relevant difference between animals and humans that justifies eating animals, farming them, slicing their throats open, forcing them into gas chambers, but not doing the same to humans? What is the difference between the two that justifies one and not the other? Try to give an answer that doesn't end in a logical contradiction this time.
Because we have to maintain population. And why not eat them once we do so?
Oh, we have to maintain population. Now, what do you mean by that? Do you mean that if we were to not farm animals, that they would get out of population?
Yes, I just gave you an example about hog. Can I finish? Can I finish?
That's awesome. Well, you
Dude,
said yes.
That is awesome. If
yes.
you let me finish the damn speech.
Go for it.
Dude, you are terrible to talk to.
Okay.
You have a pre thing done in your head, and you go into the next point and discredit everything. Don't even listen to what I'm saying.
Are you going to say your point, or are you just going to keep yapping?
Yeah, I'm going to say my point again is that yes, as you understand, we have to maintain the population of animals, and it is morally ethical to not just kill an animal and actually not eat it, just kill it and burn it? No, we're going to kill it and eat it and make money and feed people off of it.
No, that's great. So I just want to make your position. So I just want to make your position very clear before I show the logical flaws in it. Your position right now is that if we didn't farm animals, they would overpopulate, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Do you know what the principle of supply and demand is? Yes or no?
So it's not farming, it's hunting animals.
That was a yes or no question. Do you know what the principle of supply and demand is? Yes or no?
Yeah, I understand supply and demand if that's what you're asking.
Awesome. So when you put more demand on a product, they supply you that product, right? So if we weren't requesting for animals to be farmed into existence by purchasing their dead, rotting body parts, farmers wouldn't be supplying them to us. Meaning if we weren't purchasing these animals products, farmers wouldn't be breeding them into existence in the first place, meaning that if we were vegan, less animals would be farmed into existence, and quite literally the opposite of overpopulation with these animals would be happening because we wouldn't be farming them into existence in the first place. So your own argument that you just used is self-defeated. Do you acknowledge that? Yes or no?
No, these are live hogs, not farmed. They're not farmed hogs. They are live hogs. Quit saying awesome. You don't understand what I'm saying. Nobody's farming a live hog.
That's crazy. So if you're not talking about animals that are being farmed into existence, we're not on the same page right now.
We're not.
I'm talking about farmed animals.
No, you're talking about being vegan and saying that eating an animal is unethical.
Notice how you're changing the subject.
Okay, so let me ask you this: to get us on the same page, or do you agree that hunting? Dude, you are
I just want to point out. I just want to point to everyone right now that he's changing the subject right now. We're talking whether it's morally justified to farm animals right now, and he's trying to change the subject because he just got wrecked, right?
Dude, I've never talked about farming an animal.
Notice how you're screaming over me again. I showed his position to be logically impossible twice. And now he's trying to change the subject. I'm talking whether it's morally justified to farm animals into existence or not. Both of your answers have concluded to a logical contradiction. So I'll ask for a third time now. What is the morally relevant difference that justifies farming animals, slicing their throats open and forcing them into gas chambers, but not humans?
Read the sentence behind you.
Awesome. It has nothing to do with. I will ask one more time.
Quit saying awesome.
I'll ask 3 times. If you dodge 3 more times,
I'm not dodging. We're not on the same page.
So again, what is the morally relevant difference between humans and animals that justifies farming animals, slicing their throats, and forcing them into gas chambers, but not humans?
Eating animals is not immoral.
Notice how that's not the question I asked you.
That's the question behind your head, dude.
That's dodge number 2.
No,
so
big guy.
Dodge number three will result in a kick. I will ask one more time. What is the morally relevant difference between humans and animals that justifies farming animals, slicing their throats, forcing them into gas chambers, but not doing the same to humans? What is the difference between the two?
One is a human, one is an animal.
Awesome. So the morally relevant difference is that one is human and one is an animal, correct? I just want to make sure I'm not strawmanning your position. Yes? Yes or no?
Dude, you're like a
yes or no?
Teleprompter.
Notice
yes.
You just repeated.
Notice how you just repeat the same shit.
I just want everybody to notice that he will not answer a yes or no question because he doesn't want to be held accountable for his own position. So I
notice how this dude refuses to acknowledge anything I'm saying when I debunk his ass. I'm debunking your ass.
So the morally relevant difference between humans and animals that justifies farming animals, slicing their throats, forcing them in gas chambers, but not humans, is that we're humans and they're not. Correct? Yes or no?
Correct.
Awesome. So if it turned out tomorrow that your neighbor took a DNA test and it came back outside of the human genome, would it now be okay to slice your neighbor's throat open, force them in the gas chamber, and eat them like we do animals? Yes or no?
They're not a human.
So is that a no? Is that a yes or no?
Yes, because they're not a human.
Oh, okay. So awesome. So I just want to make this very clear to everybody. If your neighbor, we'll do you one better. If Asian people tomorrow all took a DNA test and it turned out Asian people took a DNA test and it was outside of the human genome, would it be morally justified to farm Asian people, force them in the gas chambers and slice their throats open? Yes or no?
You've already been through this. The answer is no.
Oh, it wouldn't be justified. So that's another logical contradiction, meaning the more.
Wait, what? Time out. What was the question? Notice
how he's interrupting me when I'm pointing out the contradiction.
What was the question?
That means the morally relevant difference between humans and animals is that justifies humans is and is not the fact that they're human. That's another logical contradiction. P and not P, meaning you affirm the proposition in conjunction with negation.
Dude, I think you're on the spectrum.
Impossible, sir.
I think you're on the spectrum. You won't let me speak.
Okay, I'm on the spectrum because I just pointed out a logical contradiction in your view. Yes.
No, because you won't even let me speak, dude.
Oh, I didn't. Awesome. Oh, I didn't.
So awesome. Now let me ask you the same line of questioning that you're doing, and just sit back and try to get a fucking word in.
Notice how you're dodging.
Notice how you won't let me speak, dude.
Do you?
No, let me speak. Time out. Let me speak. No, seriously. Let me speak.
Yep. Here we go. So do you acknowledge that you just logically contradicted yourself?
Let me speak. Literally, let me speak.
Do you acknowledge that you just contradicted yourself?
Let me speak. Yes or no? This is not a debate.
Do you acknowledge you just contradicted yourself? Yes or no?
Don't, because I don't even remember the question. You asked some shit about Asians not being human.
I'll repeat it to you, and I'll walk you through it. So I asked you the morally relevant difference between humans and animals that justifies farming animals, slicing their throats, and forcing them into gas chambers, but not humans. You said it is the fact that we are human and they are not. So I said, if tomorrow all Asians took a DNA test and it turned out they were outside of the human genome, would it be okay to farm them, slice their throats, and force them into gas chambers? You said no, meaning the morally relevant difference between humans and animals is and is not being human, providing a logical contradiction, rendering your position logically impossible. Do you affirm that? Yes or no?
Humans shouldn't eat humans.
Do you affirm that? Yes or no?
If humans do not eat humans.
Do you acknowledge that you just contradicted yourself? Yes.
No, I didn't contradict myself, dude.
Bye. You did.
You're fucking retarded.
I formally laid out the contradiction for you, and you are still denying it.
You won't let me speak, buddy.
Is the morally whether you can speak or not?
You're scared. You're scared for me to speak because you have a little play on sentences that you won't let another person get a word in.
Whether you can speak or not doesn't change that you.
It does if you let me speak.
Yeah, no. Logical contradiction is true. Whether you can speak or not, and the logical contradiction formalized is the morally relevant difference between humans and animals is and is not being human. P and not P, meaning you affirmed a proposition in conjunction with its negation, which is a logical contradiction, rendering your position logically impossible. GG, you tried.
Let me ask you something.
Now, if anybody else thinks they have a position that is not logically impossible, I recommend you hit the request button and try your best. I highly recommend anybody watching to study logic, this thing called logic, where a contradiction is P and not P, meaning a proposition in conjunction with its negation. If anybody else thinks they can debate me without ending in a logical contradiction, send a request. We'll see how you do. Oh, I think I got one. I eat meat. Yes, good job, Justin Brown. So do 99% of people. Very impressive. Oh, let's see. Oh, we got a few requests. We'll go with Eric Anderson. Your fight is hypothetical. Yes, that is philosophy 101. All right, that guess is scared. Philosophy 101 is called testing hypotheticals to see if your position ends in a reductio or a contradiction. That is philosophy. Welcome to it. Brandon, if you're still watching, send a request, brother. We'll talk about how low IQ these meat eaters are. Empty Cages, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you, Queen Vegan.
Show me in the Bible where it says it's wrong to eat an animal.
I have no idea what you just said. You got to say it again. It's hard to hear you.
I said, show me in the Bible where it says it's wrong to eat an animal.
I don't care what the Bible says. I'm not religious. So anyway, do you think it's morally justified to eat animals?
Of course not. It says it nowhere in the Bible. God judges. God determines what's moral and what's immoral.
I just want a simple yes or no. Do you think it's morally justified to farm animals, force them in a gas chamber, slit their throats open to turn them into cheeseburgers? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Do you think
God said to be fruitful?
Do you think awesome? Do you think it'd be morally justified to do the same to humans? Yes or no?
No.
Awesome. So that means there is a morally relevant difference between humans and animals that justifies farming animals, slicing their throats, forcing them in gas chambers, but not humans. Can you name the difference between humans and animals that justifies doing that to humans, but not, or sorry, doing that to animals, but not humans?
What do you mean the difference? There's a clear difference in the DNA of an animal versus a human.
Yeah, so I'll explain it to you. In the animal case, you think it's morally justified to farm animals, slice their throats open, and force them into gas chambers. In the human case, you don't think it's morally justified to farm humans, force them into gas chambers, and slice their throats open. That means there is a difference between humans and animals that justifies farming animals, but not humans. Can you tell me that difference between humans and animals that justifies it in the animal case, but not the human case?
The DNA is the difference.
DNA. So the difference is that we have human DNA and they don't, correct? Yes or no?
Correct.
Awesome. So if it turned out tomorrow that your mom took a DNA test,
now you're bringing up a hypothetical that is impossible because my mom has human DNA.
There it is. Already dodging. So if it turned
I'm not dodging nothing.
If it turned out tomorrow that your mom didn't have human DNA, would it be justified to slice her throat?
Impossible hypothetical that you're trying to use to justify an argument that isn't there.
Notice how you're dodging.
It's not a dodge. I'm answering your question. My mom has human DNA. What the hell are you on about?
So I'm going to ask one more time. If your mom tomorrow took a DNA test and it came back outside of the human genome, would it be morally justified to force her into a gas chamber and slice her throat open to turn her into a sandwich? Yes or no?
Yes, it would be morally justified because she wouldn't be human. But you're also coming up with a hypothetical that is impossible.
I just want everybody to hear that one more time. Just one more time.
I'm saying anything that's not human would be morally justified.
So tomorrow, if your mom took a DNA test and it came back outside of the human genome, you would be fine with slicing her throat open, forcing her into a gas chamber to turn her into a sandwich, correct? Oh, he's not unmuting his mic. I just want everybody to realize what he just said. He just said if his mom took a DNA test tomorrow and it came back outside of the human genome.
Okay, now answer this then. If she doesn't have human DNA, is that even my mom? If I'm human and she doesn't have human DNA, does that make her my mom?
Correct. And now it's okay to slice her throat, correct?
She's not human. Not my mom.
So it's okay to slice her throat open,
If
right?
I'm human, yes, because I'm not.
Okay.
I am human. She is
That's
not.
awesome. That's
You are
awesome.
making a
That's
hypothetical
awesome.
saying that my mom is not human,
Yes.
but I am
And
human.
now you think it's okay
Not
to
my
slice
mom
her
then.
throat open. So with
Not my mom.
that, I would rest my case. But I'm actually going to go further with this. So if tomorrow it turned out that Jewish people didn't have human DNA, would it be okay to force them into gas chambers, slice their throats, and turn them into cheeseburgers? Yes or no?
Yes, because they wouldn't actually be people.
And with
They don't
that,
have human DNA. They aren't people.
And with that, I rest my case.
They aren't people, though. They aren't people, though. You just said it. They aren't people.
Thank you for getting that soundbite for me. One DNA test for this guy, and it's okay to farm Jewish people, slice their throats open, and turn them.
They aren't Jewish. They aren't people, though. They aren't people. You just said they have no human DNA.
The only reason they matter to him is because they have human DNA, not because of their thoughts, preferences to live, be happy, well-being, and suffering. And with that, I rest my case. He thinks it's okay to farm Jewish people. That is disgusting. And I just want to show to everybody that these are the kinds of bullets you have to bite if you want to not be vegan and farm animals. Yeah, that's fucking insane. So if anybody thinks they can be a non-vegan and not bite bullets like that, I recommend you come up and justify eating animals. All right, I'm going to have my buddy up, and then I might go to bed. That motherfucker went offline. Fuck you, Andreas. What plants died for your tattoos? As many plants as necessary can die for my tattoos because plants aren't sentient beings. They don't have preferences, they don't have desires, they don't experience well-being and suffering. So I could not care less if plants died because they're not sentient. They don't have a brain or a central nervous system. Oh, God. Oysters and clams. Dirk Diggler, thank you for asking a good question. I actually don't really care about oysters and clams. I'm not convinced they're sentient. They don't have a brain, so like I'm totally fine with that. I'm gonna Tim Wart to join his live as a guest. Yeah, I'll have this guy join up with me. You don't like you're vegan. Well, that's just a contradiction because being vegan isn't aligned with my preferences, and saying that I don't like being vegan suggests that being vegan is not aligned with my preferences, meaning being vegan is and is not being in line with my preferences, which is a logical contradiction. P and not P, a proposition in conjunction with this negation. Ozark Vigoon, I just hit invite. You requested as a guest. You convinced me to be veg 3 months now, Dirk Diggler. That's super fucking cool, dude. Thanks for even commenting that. Like, I deal with all these super low IQ meat eaters all day, so like reading comments like that actually makes me feel really good. Actually, I'm gonna follow you back, Dirk Diggler. There, I just followed you back. If you ever like have any questions or anything, want any help, just hit me up. I'll help you out. Dude, too scared to debate me. That's why he disconnected. Yes, I'm actually too scared to debate the guy that said if Jewish people took a DNA test and it came back outside of the human genome, he would now be fine with farming Jewish people, forcing them into gas chambers and slicing their throats open. Yes, I'm totally scared of that guy. Good point. Any tips from becoming vegetarian to vegan? Yeah, so the biggest thing with going vegetarian to vegan is like obviously the cheese, right? Like there's plenty of super good plant milk, soy milk, oat milk, almond milk. There's even really good egg substitutes now with like Just Egg and things like that. So the roughest part for a while was the cheese because that's the most addictive. But now the vegan cheese is becoming really good. There's like oat cheese, which melts super good. I would recommend that. If you're in the Midwest, Meyer brand has really good vegan cheese. Yeah. Quick question: is honey vegan? So that's a good question. I don't know enough about honey but from what I understand about honey, I don't see it as non-vegan. Like I think it's morally permissible to find. Somebody could change my mind on that, but I haven't seen anything that I would consider to be a rights violation about honey. If anything, if bees are sentient beings, like you're just basically making more bees come into existence that experience well-being and like are like coming to fruition with their preferences and desires. You don't have to slaughter bees for honey. So like, yeah, I think it's vegan. Somebody could change my mind on that though. Let's see. Man, I had a couple of my buddies request to be up here. I'm gonna send them. I'm just bullshitting. Dude, you haven't been on my FYP in ages? Yeah, because I haven't been debating in ages. Normally I'd have like a laptop in front of me and shit and try to get a lot of viewers, but right now I'm just drunk and just bullshitting. Start up again here, so I've been pretty busy. What's up, guys?
How you doing?
I'm big chilling. What's up with you guys?
Oh, pretty tired.
Hey, what's going on? Sorry, I need to pause my TV.
Really good. Did you guys see the meat eaters earlier trying to struggle with logic and not knowing what that was?
No, but I'm familiar with that dilemma.
I see it every day, man. Every day.
They don't know what a logical contradiction is. Like P and not P. It's like actually like they just like it's unintelligible to them. They can't understand what that.
What happened?
Actually, I will give respect to this guy who's coping hard in my comment section. He actually bit the bullet on if Jewish people took a DNA test and it came back outside of the human genome, he would no longer have a problem with the Holocaust.
I did catch that.
Yeah. So the only reason Jewish people matter is because of their DNA and not because of their thoughts, well-being, suffering, preferences, and desires.
It's so funny because I'm Jewish too.
Yeah. It's actually like insane. The bullets these people will bite.
Yeah.
What's up with you guys though? I can't know.
Not a whole lot. Are you still training, doing jiu-jitsu?
Oh, fuck yeah, I'm training, dude. Okay. I had bro, this is kind of a cool story. So I went to open mat today, and some guy came in. This motherfucker, dude, I shit you not, he was 6'8", bro, and jacked. 6'8" and jacked. I know he's 6'8" because I asked him. And he went to the bathroom, and my coach was like, he comes up to me, he's like, hey, dude, like, you can't take it easy on this guy. I cannot have you lose. Because if he beats you, I know who this guy is. He trains at Black Tie, I guess. He will go back to his gym and talk shit about not only you, but also our gym, so you can't lose. I'm like, what? I'm like, are you the same guy I am, Riley? That 6'8" motherfucker? And he's like, yeah. Dude, I choked his ass out in under 2 minutes, dude. It felt pretty good. Hit him with the north south.
That's so funny. I know the owner of the gym.
Yeah. So that felt pretty good. I hit a slick snap down on him. I faked the inside trip, snapped him down hard as fuck, got him down. Then I took his back, got him into side control, went north south, and fucking finished it from there. So that's pretty cool.
Solid. That's one of my favorite chokes. If that's what you finished.
Oh, dude, it's so underrated. Especially being a bigger guy. It's so easy for me to finish, dude.
Yeah, after my injury, that was one of the first submissions I was able to hit again.
Yeah, you're a fucking hard ass for going through that. It's for me something that I don't know, just helped a lot. And if you know what I'm talking about, you'll know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, you won't. Is driving through the toes. I get on my toes and drive through my toes, and I don't know what it is about that, but it just finishes the choke so fucking quick.
Interesting. I usually lay my feet flat, spread my legs, and just let all my upper body weight or my whole body sink into the mat, and then walk myself backwards. I know. Yes, I know what you will. Yeah, because you got to get your armpit under the chin, so you fight to get it right under the chin. And I used to do that same thing, but I don't know, dude. I watch a video by I think it's Jiu-jitsu or whatever. Yeah. And, getting on your toes and driving through. I don't know what it is, but it finishes that choke quick as hell. Oh, for sure. I mean, you and I have different body parts too. Or different body types too. Right. That is big too. I get away with a lot just because I'm a fat fuck. Yeah, no, Marcelo Garcia. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, old school guy. Oh yeah. But he, I learned it from him, and that's actually my body type. I'm a little heavier than when I was competing, I was a little bit heavier than he was, but my body type was similar. So it definitely worked out for me doing it sinking. I could never finish it driving. Yeah, no, it's fun, dude. We have to get together sometimes, man. Just flow roll and shit. It'd be fun. Yeah, for sure. I'll let you know next time I come into Michigan. It happens once or twice a year lately. I think I'm probably going to come back in like the winter. So if I do, I'll hit you up and make the drive out there.
Yeah, awesome. Let's see. We'll try to get some animal abusers in the chat and see what they have to say. I see the one still coping about being okay with Holocaust and Jewish people, so that's pretty wild. It'll be a good sound bit though. Who will we get?
Let's slay some carnists.
Yeah. I'll get Aaron Scorzone in here. You know, I like to have chill conversations, but most carnists are just like so low IQ, it's like impossible. It's like actually impossible.
Can be, yeah.
Mike coming through, okay?
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys? I appear to have stumbled across a vegan debate forum. I assume that you guys are the vegans.
Yes, sir. We are. We're those cringe, annoying vegans.
I don't hate vegans. No, I think it's silly. Dude, you look, I just must say before we jump into anything, you look like, bro, you're fucking jacked, at least if your diet is mostly consistent and plant-based. You're looking good, my friend. What do you, if you don't mind me asking, what do you like taking in? Like, what's like a general day, like on I guess an average Saturday look like for you?
Yeah, no, well, average Saturday is going to be a little biased, my buddy. An average Saturday is like 30 Busch Lights, okay? An average week, so I'm not like what I consider like a health vegan. I don't like eat like whole foods, plant-based. I eat a lot of like shit because I just care about like getting my protein in. Like I do jiu-jitsu, I powerlift, so those are the things I care about. I eat a lot of mock meats, lentils. I eat a lot of lentils, potatoes. I've been eating a lot of seitan lately, tofu, protein shakes.
Protein shakes, do you just do like standard whey protein? Have you ever considered doing whole food protein since you're on a vegan diet?
Yeah, so I don't do whey protein just because like it's a dairy, which we can get into that if you want. I don't know why I think that's wrong, but it's mainly like kind of like soy protein that I intake or pea protein.
Pea protein? So you do plant-based stuff?
Yeah. So I'm vegan, so like I pretty much eat all plants. There's like very few like grayish areas, like animal products that I think I'm okay with, like oysters. I think I'm okay with. I don't eat them, but like I think I'm fine with them. But yeah, I pretty much just eat like all plant-based shit. Yeah.
I guess first and foremost, I guess can I just get like what y'all's? I don't know who all here, but like does someone here do solar? Is solar punk? Do you sell solar panels by chance?
No, actually, I don't. Solar punk is a genre of science fiction that's an optimistic future. So I kind of pair that with, and it's about looking for a bright future and living in harmony with technology and nature.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's
Very
it.
cool. So I work in the solar. I just thought maybe I was like,
awesome. Yeah, great.
Anyways, back to what you were saying. I guess where's y'all's stance on it? Do y'all have an opposition to people that eat meat, or are you just trying to promote it as like a health thing, or?
Yeah, so I'm probably what most people would call like a militant vegan. Like I see eating meat as like super immoral. Like if I could, I would legislate against it and like make it illegal.
Yeah, I'm definitely an abolitionist. I try to approach the subject with as much compassion because it's the one form of oppression that like almost everyone on the planet just seems to think it's okay because it's us versus them collectively. But like the way I look at it is a lot of people kind of carry a similar mindset to the pre-American Civil War South towards, the slaves. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm a complete abolitionist.
Real quick, I just want to respond. I'm sorry, I hate doing this, but I did just have a comment spam 3 times that I drink milk, so I'm not vegan. I don't drink milk. I drink plant milk. Soy milk. I don't drink cow's milk. But anyway, sorry.
And I have the same view. I'm an abolitionist. I think it's immoral to use animals in any way. It's not just about treating them kindly or raising them nicely until they're slaughtered. It's don't use animals at all. We at this point in time we have so many choices when we walk into the grocery store and we have access to so many sources of food that are plants that there's no necessity at all to eat animals. We don't need to do it to survive. So then that begs the question, well, if we don't have to take animals' lives, why do we? And it's mostly conditioning.
Do you think there's like a balance in it? Like, do you think like you can sustain it by having both? At least because I have a personal training background, and everything that I've learned is balance, sustainability. Never picking an extreme is the best way for humans. So what would you say to that?
So,
Yeah, that's a good question. I would, I believe in balance too, and I would say that slaughtering 92 billion land animals and, slaughtering over 3 trillion sea animals is in nowhere near balanced. It's just crazy. It's unsustainable. It's wrecking the planet, and it's exploiting lives. These animals want to live. None of them want to, give themselves up for our convenience and pleasure. And so that may sound extreme, but I think that we're so conditioned to just believe that it's perfectly fine to use animals to exploit them, and I challenge that. We don't have to, and as I said, it's environmentally destructive. It can be bad for our health. It just in every way possible. It's terrible.
Sure.
Yeah. So
anything that humans do is ultimately going to be bad for most life on Earth. Like we're pretty much just concrete, oil, pollution. Which are you guys? Just because I grew up in it. I'm from Dallas. I grew up on a farm. Are you guys familiar with what like monoculture farming is?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm actually I do some farming myself. I don't do monoculture farming, but I'm pretty familiar with a lot of the practices and why monoculture is the way it is and what it's for. Mm-hmm. And the reason why we have monoculture is because of animal agriculture. So all the destruction happening from monoculture is because we need to grow enough crops to feed 92 billion animals, plus all of the farmed sea life as well.
And that also circulates because it's just a basically large scale production of like a specific plant, I guess, whatever it can be. But from how much production it can lead to, that can also have the negative effect where you guys may not want it to go, which is the biodiversity loss. Like basically, it's going to reduce the variety of plant species in the area. It can really mess with soil health because it is a one single plant species. So it makes
so
it.
Why do you think that monoculture?
More vulnerable.
Why do you think that monoculture would have to be a thing on a, like if we are on a plant-based diet though? Like all of the subsidies, aside from like I think it's 1 or 2% of billions of dollars go towards animal agriculture, and a lot of that money is allocated for the monocropping for animal agriculture as well. Like we grow enough food without animals, and the crops go to feed them to feed the population. So we would use a lot less land, and we can allocate a lot of those subsidies to invest in better farming practices than monoculture.
Yeah, I got that. I guess that could be true. And ultimately, I guess playing into the empathetic side of meat eating, I guess you can't really play into that, which could be better without killing the animals. So I can empathize with you there. But what about?
Can I ask you a question, Aaron?
Sure.
Yeah, so I just want to be clear that, because I know you were talking about growing up in farming in Dallas and stuff, like, I just want to be clear, I grew up, like, working on the dairy farm throughout high school. My name is actually Hunter. I grew up in a hunting family. You can see the antlers tattooed on me because, like, I'm a big-time hunter. So I don't want you to think that, like, we're some, like, I don't know, like, radical fucking vegans that, like, just, like, grew up vegan or something. Like, I also came from the same lifestyle as probably you did. I just want to know if there's, like, anything that would make you be like, okay, maybe like this vegan thing is something I should look into. Like, is there anything about like the environment or health or like animal ethics that you would like care about to like look into? Or I'm just curious.
I would say mostly just maybe just the dietary impacts on humans. Like while like a well-planned vegan diet can basically give you all the necessary nutrients as far as like your biochain amino acids, iron, like, but some people may struggle to get adequate levels of certain vitamins and minerals through that. I actually personally struggled through it because I was a diet fanatic and I said, fuck it, let's try it all, right? Including carnivore. So like I think it's like B12, your iron, omega-3 fatty acids, calcium. These are all a lot harder to get through a plant-based diet and sources, which is kind of why I go back and I guess more just the balance. It can just lead to bad things like anemia, fatigue. Like you don't want bone health issues, which obviously I'm sure there's ways to combat that.
Sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you. I thought you were done.
No, sure. Can I finish off? I guess on the thought. So I guess back with us consuming those things, there is a large scale because it's not always as bad, but at a higher scale it has to be more. So large scale agriculture for like corn, soy, and stuff. I think wheat as well. It usually relies on a lot of like synthetic fertilizers, which have pesticides and herbicides, which sometimes can be diluted out just through the process, but ultimately are still in them. So and they can be bad for water supply. They can mess with ecosystem, soil, and they can also fuck with.
It takes 6 to 10 times more plants to feed, animals than it does humans. Like you have to give an animal more plants to get the equivalent calorie than it would to just be eating the plant themselves.
Yeah. So like what Ozark said. So I think you said two things, and I don't want to straw man you, so I want to make sure I'm correct first. It sounded like the two things you said are you're not sure. One, it's basically like you can be healthy on a vegan diet, and two, you have issues with like it sounded like pesticides and stuff.
Because there's overconsumption of processed foods. I guess is where mostly I was finishing. So like it's just led to a higher amount of that. The meat substitutes too, and like packaged snacks and high sodium, bad fats, additives.
Okay.
And this.
Sorry, I'm not trying to.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, I think you get my point.
Yeah. So basically, it's like health and pesticides. So basically, the two things I would say to that is one, I'll cover health first.
And the farming aspect.
Yeah, so the largest group of nutrition experts on the entire planet, they're called the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. They have over 200,000 certified nutrition experts. And they say in a peer-reviewed statement, meaning they reviewed all currently available literature and put in a peer-reviewed journal that it's perfectly healthy to live on a vegan diet for all people at all stages of life. There's the Adventist Health Study too, which studied lifelong vegans, which showed that vegans actually had the lowest rates of chronic disease. And then there's a vegetarian cohort with I think 11,000 participants that after a 12-year follow-up showed vegans had the lowest rates of death. So the research is on the side of like the scientific consensus is on the side of like a vegan diet being healthy. And then the other thing, like Ozark was bringing up with like the pesticides and stuff, people don't think about this, but like animals, like, and as a farmer, you would know that animals eat food. And they eat a lot of food, and the research actually shows that it takes 13 kilograms of crops to make just 1 kilogram of meat, meaning it takes actually more crops to feed the animals that we eat, meaning more pesticides. And this lines up with like what you learn in biology with like the energy pyramid. Like every you lose 90% of energy, so that like the literature adds up with it basically just like the rules of like nature, essentially.
That makes sense.
I'd also like to mention really quick, if you don't mind, you mentioned omega.
Jump in. I'm down to sit and listen.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you mentioned omega-3s, I just wanted to hit that the only essential omega-3 fatty acid is ALA, which is abundant in plants. Like there's actually no like concluded or agreed upon recommended dosage for like EPA or DHA. They're different depending on the experts that you ask because they are non-essential fatty acids. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a non-issue because that our bodies make what we need.
That's fair. I guess another question I have: Are you guys familiar with the term grazing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, like you
have cattle eating grass.
Yeah. So it's like it can kind of prevent like basically making a fucking just basically desert patch in your fields. But do you think that there's any way that you could put, because it sounds like maybe that feeding the animals is maybe a part of the problem as well. Do you think that with that could help sustain it?
I think I'm confused by the question. What do you mean by like?
I think a point that was brought up earlier was that it's hard. Like another reason that maybe we could move to a plant-sustained diet is because it's already hard enough to sustain keeping up with the animals in order to get the meat in the first place. What the plants were already doing. Like the point I made earlier was about the. Sorry, I don't mean to keep going. Just so we're on the same page, because the point I made earlier was about the monoculture farming and why that is. It's an objective, not it. That's just one of the things that just kind of sucks about the vegan thing, is because that is one thing that is an objective bad. But to your point you were making earlier, we honestly have to use those same resources to feed the animals that meat eaters are already feeding.
Yeah, so I think I understand your question. I'm going to repeat it back to you in like maybe like a shorter way and see if I just want to make sure I get you right. So you're saying like, okay, so like I get it, like animals, like they eat a lot of crops. So like, you know, with my earlier pesticide point, that makes sense. But like, what about like grass-fed cattle? Like they don't like eat crops; they just eat the grass. Like, do you guys have an issue with that? Is that your question?
I guess more or less would that help maybe like if like it could become a middle ground because like at least for me I just personally can't do meat diets. I even tried just fish and red meat seems to be where my body responds and I don't want to be a bad person because of it. So I'm hoping I could leave here not have like I hope there isn't like an extreme side thinking that. Excuse me, I'm choking on water.
There you go.
But I forgot where I was going with it. Excuse me, guys. I fucking choked on this water.
So I think I'll say these two things, and you tell me what route you're trying to go through. I think you're trying. Are you basically just trying to ask if there's like in our
yeah, in your eyes, could that make
there's
it
like an ethical way to eat animal products? Is that what you're asking essentially?
Yeah, I guess in a way. I think ultimately what my point was is like a lot of meat producers have shifted to regenerative agriculture practices, which is for soil health and for I think what's the word, carbon
Sequestration.
Is that it?
Do you mind if I answer this really quick?
Yeah.
So, according to the largest study done on regenerative farming, that was by White Oaks Pasture, and it was paid for by one of their investors, showed that it would take 2.5 times the amount of land that we are currently using if we wanted to use animal inclusive regenerative agriculture, right? So right now, a significant portion of the land is currently dedicated to grazing, and grazing animals make up about 1% of animals total consumed. And if we were to either increase that amount or we were to increase enough land in order to do the regenerative practices with animal inclusive agriculture, like I said, it would require a significant amount more land, which would be a significant amount more deforestation. So it's not like a valid practice.
Can I add in, because you're right, because that would take up more land that could be used, but we have to, if any of us have farming experience, we all know that no land is always sustainable or suit for crop production whatsoever. I think the reason is meant to graze on these marginal lands that can't support farming, turning like otherwise unusable land into a source of protein and nutrition. So this reduces the need to like convert wildlands into cropland for like plant diets.
We don't have to, though. That's what I'm trying to explain. That's what I'm trying to explain. We don't have to. I was explaining it early. Like if we do, like there's no point in having animal inclusive regenerative practices. We can use a lot less land by using stuff like green manure, which is made from plants, or like compost teas, which is why I was saying if we dedicated subsidies towards plant agriculture, we'd be able to make these kind of investments and build technology that can convert like dying plants into plant manure faster, to use that as fertilization. But we would still be using less land on a plant-based diet overall. You know,
quick question is more or less is y'all is it more the meat industry that you guys are against? Like, say, I think you said you hunted. Like, say, like tomorrow you went out and you just got like a fucking nice buck, bro, and you got it. Would you eat that, take it home to the family type thing? Like, would that be something you would be more into, or is it the industry as a whole that does happen to have a pretty questionable slaughter system?
So there's a few things to what you just said. So one, like, if the choice were between hunting and farming, I would think hunting was more ethical, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I still think hunting deer would be unethical because you're still violating the rights of a sentient being. Now, there was kind of a question you asked about eating it. Like, let's say there was just like a dead deer, like it was just dead, I didn't kill it. I wouldn't have a problem with eating that deer. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, whether I eat it or not, it doesn't do anything. But I would have a problem with shooting it in the first place because I just see like that deer. For the same reason I would have an issue with like just going around like shooting stray dogs. Like I just see these like as as sentient beings who deserve the right to like not be shot through the heart, essentially. So I feel like you asked a few different things there.
Yeah. No, that actually does answer. That was going to answer a follow-up question. That's actually kind of funny. What my original question was more of like, is it the but I mean, I guess now I kind of know, because if you're against that, you're probably against the latter. What I was, to clarify, I was going to say, is it the meat industry, as in like the entire institution as a whole, or say like in the scenario, say you went hunting tomorrow and you were needing food and you were able to take your bow, get a buck, and then do it that way? Would that be something that you would be open to, or are you just entirely against it? But you've already answered. I imagine you're against the institution.
Actually, no. Actually, what you just asked is actually a different question. If I like had to like say like I just had to like hunt to survive, like I recently changed my mind on this. I would be fine with that. I just value like human sentience like a lot more than like animal sentience, to the point where like if I had to survive, I'd be fine with that.
Right.
It's just not the case that I have to right now. But like yeah, like if I had to, I would be fine with that. And I just want people to kind of come away with that understanding, like myself, I value, and most vegans, not even myself, most vegans value humans like way more than animals, like way more. It's just that we value animals enough to not like farm them, put them in the gas chamber, slice their throats open, when we can just like not do that. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
No, I get it, man.
I agree with that also. If I were in a situation where I had to eat animals to survive, I certainly would. The point that has to be emphasized is that most of us are not in that situation every day. We have access to at this point, we have so many choices just walking into a grocery store that there's no reason in the world to have to consume animal products. And so I think the question you brought up is really good, and really that's a very insightful question, because we are so conditioned to think that, well, of course, it's fine to unalive animals for food, that's normal. And not only is it normal, it's a good thing. What we do with farming is that it's good. It provides food for people. But we quickly lose sight that these are not commodities. These are living beings.
Right.
And when I was a kid, I grew up on a farm as well. And I would like wander around the fields with cows, and I would observe them and see that they were individuals. They each had personalities. They had different preferences. They would interact, and they would look at me and respond, and that these were clearly individuals. And that really set the tone for my whole view of my worldview. And then when I was 11, my dad came back from India and told me about vegetarianism. I was like, oh, I don't have to eat animals. Suddenly a window opened. And I'm using that example because we're so conditioned to think that we have to eat animals. But once we're introduced to the idea that, well, maybe we don't, and these are individual sentient beings who want to live and want to be free, that, well, maybe we should be thinking in a different way. So I just offer that to you to kind of consider.
Yeah, and I'm also glad you asked the question, Aaron, because one, it shows that you're genuinely interested, and also I think it kind of shows like with our answers that like I think people think like vegans are like these like extremists, like crazy fucking people, but like really we're not. Like we're pretty sensible. Like we just care about fucking animals, dude. Like we just, if you like, I recommend you like watch like some like slaughterhouse footage, or even like the like movie Dominion. Like it's really fucked up what we do to these like sentient beings, man.
I was gonna say, man, I've been there. Like we had a cattle. We called him Buck. Couple. He was a Black Angus, and grew up with him for a good while. Well, I say grew up. It was really just high school. But had him for a few years. Would take him. One day we're loading him up in a trailer, then picking him up the next morning in a cooler. You know what I'm saying? It is a sad thing. And,
it is, man. It really is. Like, God, and like, I hope you don't think I'm just like, I don't know, like this weird vegan, like trying to condition you or like get you to join our cult or something. But like, it really is like weird, man. That like we value like cats and dogs like so much. Like, dude, like people like think of dogs as like, some people value like their own dogs like more than like most people. and then we just like don't give a fuck about like cows or pigs, and like I actually have pigs myself. I have a couple of pigs that I rescued, and like, dude, they're so fucking cool, man. Like, they're so smart, they're so sweet, and it's just like, I think it's something that people should think about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of this stuff does come from just like it's cultural and it's social, and like even to, I think it was Solar was saying like we're not. It's like, dude, 400 years ago we're Native Americans. Of course, we're going to be running with our bows and arrows, hunting everything the buck we can find. You know what I'm saying? Hunting, getting the leather, using the hide, utilizing everything we can for our source of survival. I think the point that you guys are making, and where I can empathize, is you're saying we have the resources and being able to utilize a vegan diet to where you wouldn't have to hurt the animals. Which who can fault a vegan for that? I'm a meat-eating motherfucker all day. I eat 4 eggs and some strips of bacon in the morning. I pray for it. I'm thankful for the animals that died for my health and I'm able to push forward and get these things in front of me. I obviously eat my veggies. I just never thought as deep into it.
Yeah, no, and dude, I appreciate the fuck out of you saying 2 things there. One, that you're like open to it and you've never thought about it and you came in here with an open mind. And 2, like it is true, dude. Like our entire like existence, like through evolution, like we were eating animals because we had to, so it made sense. So now we're at this point in society where it's like, fuck, we don't really have to anymore. So now that the people that are like taking a step back and be like, whoa, like we don't have to do this. Why are we still doing this? Like everyone looks at us like we're a bunch of fucking weirdos, basically. But like because we've done it through our entire evolution, so it's just like, that's very true.
I think for me, guys, if I'm going to stand on anything and really concrete my opinion, it's the large scale of it. I wish there was a way that we could make it better to where like thousands of animals didn't have to suffer. I think a clean kill is fine. Ultimately, if you don't allow that animal to suffer, you raise it for a good life with a purpose, with intention, and you don't treat it badly or poorly, and you have it respect all the way to the end because you know it has that purpose to give ultimately a life for life, which is a sad thing, but I mean that's how so many things survive every day. But like it's so embedded in people's culture. Like I mean, around the world, people have been raising and consuming livestock, which has always been their central way of life. They've had the cattle that they took care of, and they bred it, and they had it with their family, and they had their 1 or 2 cows, and they were considered rich. So I guess it comes from a lot of, the way I grew up. My family is immigrants from Italy, so it's just always been a big part of our life. Always taking care of the animals we use. It sucks that it is that way, but it also sucks that a quarter of our paycheck gets thrown into wars overseas. You know what I mean? Instead of supporting us. So
yeah. I gotta get going off because my phone's like dying and I'm about to sleep. So I'm just gonna end with this. So yeah, I appreciate the fuck out of you like being open and stuff. The one thing I would say is like I'm like obviously like as a vegan that goes without saying that like I don't think just because you raise an animal like really good first and then kill it like cleanly that makes it justified, because like we can just think like in the case of our like pets, like our dogs, like we give our dogs like probably the best life. So, like we probably treat our dogs like way better than any farm animal. And we wouldn't see it as okay to just like slaughter our dogs to eat them. And they're like treated super good. So I almost see that as like more evil. So like, I just want to make that clear. But I also don't want to push you too far because I think you've been like super cool and like super open. I just hope it's something you think about. I'm going to get off though. It was good talking to you. If you ever want to like talk again, just follow me.
Sure. I guess one thing for anyone else.
Aaron,
sure.
Could I just ask one question for you? It's a challenging question, but I just encourage you to just sort of reflect on it. Because what you've, again, I agree that, you've been really cool and really, it's been a great conversation. I really appreciate it. And I've enjoyed talking to you. So I just want to leave you with a question to reflect on, that to sort of mull over and maybe not even answer right, but just sort of explore it. Ask yourself, is there really an ethical way to slaughter an animal? And just consider that. Think, is there really an ethical way to slaughter an animal when we don't have to, when we don't need animals to survive?
Well, I guess in conclusion, from talking about the things we are eating, that will be my food for thought for the night.
Right. So I appreciate you considering that.
Yeah, I think I can speak for all of us where say like we appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys want to give me a follow, I have a fight November 2nd that I'll probably be posting some content on. So if you guys want to follow, support, that will absolutely be my first amateur fight for kickboxing. So it's all right.
Yeah, me and Ozark, we both train jiu-jitsu, so.
Nice. I did wrestling and jiu-jitsu and through high school, and then now I'm a kickboxer. I'm on a kickboxing team. So doing that, then moving into MMA, and then have you guys ever heard of street beefs?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. You're getting on that?
Yeah, my gym sponsors Street Beef Dirty South, Jupiter Kickboxing. So your boy might be showing out on some street beefs.
Dude, definitely.
I'll drop you.
I just sent you a follow. Yeah, message me if you're on that. I totally watch that shit, bro. Like, I'm all about that stuff.
Give me a follow, guys. Y'all stay live. God bless y'all. I hope y'all have a good night.
Great meeting you, and Ozark and Empty Cages. Great seeing you guys, and have a great evening.
Gentlemen. Thanks for having us out.
See you guys.
Bye.
I haven't done this in a minute. I forgot how to disconnect.
Yeah, I can't either. There we go.